How has your definition of success changed over the past 5 years?
Oh, that's a great question. I think when I started, success was, support my family. It was,
Hmm.
can I do a job um, or can I create work that I don't have a boss, I'm my own boss, and basically pay the bills. I mean, that was as big and as little as the vision was. And over time, we've done really well. We've been super fortunate. And I don't know that now I ever even think about success. Like, are we successful? When I looked at we're approaching 5 years, I thought, wow, I've had jobs where by the fifth year I was fried or burnout or felt
Hmm.
like, I've done all of it. Maybe I should go find something else to do. And I can't believe it's been 5 years because it feels like we just started. And I also don't feel burnout or fried. So I
Hmm.
think the difference was in the beginning, I definitely focused on what success was because I had to pay the bills.
Right.
And as things kind of leveled out and the bills were getting paid and we were getting work and we were adding to the creative crew and we were just doing good work, I never even thought about what success was then. I just thought we're doing good work and let's just keep doing it.
Looking back, what's one misconception you had about running a business that you've since let go of?
I think I thought there were a lot more parameters around businesses than there are because I came from
Hmm.
the nonprofit sector and I'm a fundraiser. So every dollar that comes into a nonprofit organization is tracked from the time it
Yeah.
comes in till the time it comes out. And
Hmm.
you always hear about businesses, oh, that's a write-off or oh, we did that. And you know, I thought it was there's this big mysterious book of rules somewhere, and it really isn't. You just have to be, um, good, honest, ethical business people, and that's what you need to do. And so I think my background in nonprofit and having to track everything so closely and keep everything monitored and look at expenses and look at my P&L all the time. I think that's helped me in my business because that's just the way my brain works. So we provided benefits from the beginning, like group health insurance, and we just added retirement and all that stuff, and stuff that small businesses our size don't typically think is in their purview. And I think for me, it was just like put it in your budget and then like when I was in nonprofit, raise the money to do it. It's not a business decision, it's a people decision, and we just figure out how to do it. So um I think I just thought that business was a lot more rigid than it is, and it's a lot more free flowing. And so
Hmm.
I think when you look at what a business can do for the people that, for our clients and for the creative crew, what can we offer? What can we do? It's really up to me as to what we do. And I think pushing myself to go, okay, like we just did this great retreat for the whole weekend. And one of our friends just said to me, wow, I wish I could work for you because I've never had a boss that showed me how appreciated I am as you do your team. And for me, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? Why?
Hmm.
So I think I love that I get to make all those decisions and I
Hmm.
get to shift right connections in the directions I want to shift them. That's been a lot of fun. But
Hmm.
I definitely thought there was a lot more like stringent regulations from somebody. I don't know who that somebody was, but somebody was gonna be like, you can do this, and you can't do that. And really it's up to the business owner.
What's one unconventional strategy or approach you've tried that surprisingly worked out?
I think one of the things that has happened is people go, well, how do you market right connections? And we're really bad at it. Like,
Hmm.
we don't market it. We don't have salespeople. We don't cold call. We don't do wonky contracts for people, making it difficult for people to break up with us. We just do good
Hmm.
work. And I think that's that. And I've been really fortunate because in my past career, I had a really broad network. So I don't take that for granted. Like I understand that what we've created is very unique because I was able to have such a broad network of people that knew my work and wanted to work with us because of that. I get that not everybody has that. So I just feel like we're really blessed because of that. And we built Right Connections through that.
So the strategy that worked was like, there's no strategy.
No strategy. And also like not worrying, like not chasing that big client. You know what I mean? Like I know,
Mhm.
like even when I was fundraising, people would be like, "Oh, I'm chasing this one donor," and I was like, "I'm, I don't have time for that. That's too much. That's too much effort. You know,
Yeah.
we do good work, and I have a lot of faith that it's just gonna work out." And
Mhm.
you know, I can remember one year we lost our two largest clients. They went with other, they either stopped that service or they went with another firm. And there was like a moment of, uh-oh, like this is a problem. Um,
Mhm.
and we just kept doing good work. And actually we filled them back up. I like we didn't we raised or we made more money that year than we did the year before, even losing our two largest clients. So I think
Mhm.
that taught me to not stress or worry, just keep our heads down and do good work because
Mhm.
it luckily has evened out. And I mean, for us, it's evened out. And we started during the pandemic. Like
Mhm.
we're a marketing firm that started probably 5 months before everything shut down. So
Yeah.
I feel like if we can make it through that, we can make it through most things. I mean, making it through a global pandemic as a brand new company in marketing, I
Mhm.
feel like not that we're bulletproof, but we were really fortunate. And I think it created a culture. And I mean, you couldn't worry during that time because everybody was worried about everything. And
Mhm.
it was just keep your head down, do good work, and make it through. And I think that taught me a ton during that
Yeah.
time.
What's the most surprising lesson you've learned from your customers?
Mhm. You know that they still care about loyalty and relationships. Um, we have clients that we've had since we began, and they're they're incredible. That customer service, they do care about customer service. It's not about going to the cheapest firm
Mhm.
or, you know, hopping around. That if you build good relationships with people, they keep you.
Mhm.
And, you know, there's even been times where we've sat down with clients and said, hey, we don't think like marketing isn't what your company needs, for example,
Mhm.
because you do this
Right.
very specific thing. And so the broad-based marketing that we do, and they've still kept us and they've said, no, let's just refocus and that sort of thing. So I've been pleasantly surprised at how loyal and kind and driven our clients are.
If your business, so if Right Connections were a character in a story, how would you describe its personality and journey?
I feel like we would be the, you know, if it's a ensemble cast, we're the character that everybody counts on, you know,
Mm.
that is reliable and shows up and does, you know, has kind of fun, quirky energy, but
Mhm.
also like is reliable. Like we're always there. So when somebody has a problem, they call us. When
Mhm.
they want to brainstorm something, they call us. I think that's we're thought partners above everything. That's the
Yeah.
strategy part of our firm. And I think we're different than a lot of our competitors in that way because we blank slate everything. Like they say they do, but I don't know that that happens just from the conversations we've had with our clients, where we say,
Mhm.
well, okay, what do you want to do? And let's figure out a new plan. We don't say, you know, this is what we do. This
Mhm.
is how we build a website, or this is the tried and true method. We don't know the tried and true method for this customer or this client. We have to figure that out together.
Mhm.
So I just think we're like that reliable and fun. Like I think we're invited to the party because we're fun, but we're also reliable and always there.
What is something that hasn't changed about Right Connections since day one? And why do you think that's important?
The logo hasn't changed.
That is important.
I feel like that's about it. Everything else has been tweaked and modified. You know, when Right Connection started, it was sort of in an emergency situation because
Mm,
I had lost my job. So it was like either go find another job or start this thing. And it's not like I had ever dreamed of having my own business. Like I work with entrepreneurs who have this entrepreneurial spirit and they like from little, they were creating businesses, some of them from the time they were, could talk and sell something. That wasn't me. Like I could
mm,
sell. I was a great fundraiser. I understood how to get people to do things, but I had never thought about starting my own business. So when I did start my own business, it was sort of um an act of an emergency because
mm,
rent was coming due, and also just kind of an act of faith. Um, and throw up all the things that on the wall that I'd done in my career. Not knowing if they were transferable to a product-based market, like had no idea because I'd always worked in nonprofits. So I know that I can do all these things. Are these things people would actually pay for? I had no idea.
mhm,
So I will say our services have pretty much stayed the same.
mhm,
Um, you know, the DE&I stuff I've done since the early 2000s. Strategic planning and those strategy things I've done my entire career because I built programs. Um,
mhm,
you know, Consulting on fundraising and like board retreats and staff retreats. I've always done those. So
mhm,
I think our services, we haven't added much new. Strength Finders, being certified in Strength Finders, that was new, but I'd worked in strengths since the early 2000s.
mhm,
So the only thing new there was to be certified. So I would say our services have been the same. We really haven't added much other than being a vendor for promotional items. And that simply happened because my dear friend Dave Pfister passed away.
mhm,
I would have used him forever to do my
mhm,
promotional items. He was one of those individuals who like stood by me for, I mean, we had a 30-year friendship. So
mhm,
that's something that is new that I never would have foreseen us doing. It just made sense then. Um, but yeah, none of our services have changed. And we really haven't added a lot because we had a really broad menu to begin with. In fact,
mhm,
I've been criticized about all the things we do,
mhm,
but I sort of look back at the pandemic and go, well, we made it through because of the variety of services. People needed strategy. They needed marketing still, but they needed strategy. And if their current firm couldn't offer them strategic partnership, they came to us. And so,
mhm,
I mean, and I don't know how to do it any other way because it's all the skill set I'd done in my career. Like this is all natural to me. The great part is along the way, I've found um, these incredible women. We have an all women female crew that also have these skills and gifts that want to work with us. So
mhm,
our creative crew is probably one of the things I'm most proud of because it is it is so varied with skills and everybody works so well together and the encouraging vibe and culture that we have I've never worked in before. And
mhm,
so I'm very proud that, and that's intentional. Like it is super intentional because we work with freelancers. So how do
mhm,
you create an environment where freelancers who may have 3 to, I don't know, 8 gigs with us a year feel like they're part of a team and part of a company, not
mhm,
just, oh yeah, this is a place that gives me a gig every once in a while. So
mhm,
it's very intentional in doing that. And I think that's something I take the most pride on. I know in my career, um, supervising people is something that I worked really hard on how to be a good supervisor. Like that was probably one of the most challenging things because my personality is pretty driven. It's
mhm,
pretty direct and driven, and I want to succeed. And so I put a ton of time in thinking about how to be a good boss, how
Mhm.
to put into people what, understanding they weren't going to be with us forever. Like that, I always went into that when I had permanent staff. So I think it caused me to really look at our creative crew as these, and we're blessed for having them.
Mhm.
This is not just something that I take for granted. I feel
Mhm.
very fortunate that we have the crew we do.
Yes, as a member of the crew, I can attest to that. I think it's rare to find a freelance position where you still feel like you're part of the company and not just, like a service that's used every now and then. So I commend you on how you've cultivated that kind of culture.
Thanks. I think I need friends. No, I
Uh,
think the one thing about any organization, especially a startup, it's lonely, right? Because usually it's one or two people.
yep.
For us, we're, all remote. So we get together, but we do our work remotely. And I just had somebody the other day say, well, I got office space if you want it. And I'm like, no, this works really good for everybody. We've had crew, you included, in different countries. We've had them traveling. We have them with full-time jobs. We have them with part-time jobs. I mean, that flexibility is part of in honoring people's schedules, and that flexibility, I think, is part of the magic that we provide. Like,
Mhm.
yes, we are giving you, another source of income, but we are also, honoring that you have a life
Mhm.
and providing opportunities for you to gather with other female creatives, which is
Mhm.
great. Somebody asked me if we'd hire a guy, and I'm like, we probably would, the right guy, but
Mhm.
we have cultivated this. Um, I really look at the culture that we've created. So we definitely would. Like, I'm not gonna say no, we would never hire a male to do anything.
Mhm.
But I'm just like we've had crew members that didn't really jive with us. That's really the most important thing to me. And we do good work because we all get along. We do good work because we appreciate each other and how we do design and our creative aesthetics and things like that. Like we all have different ones. And that's, I think, why we're successful.
Mhm.
We can flex and do what we need to. And I think it comes out in the designs.
What's one moment or decision you are most proud of, but no one really knows about?
That's hard because I'm like really open about everything and right connections. Like sometimes especially when I am facilitating hustle and I'm like just very transparent and I think, I wonder if I should have been that transparent. Let me think about that. There have been some jobs that we have taken that just weren't going well,
Mhm.
um, lucrative jobs
Mhm.
that I have went and given back the money and said, I don't think we're the right firm. That's
Mhm.
pretty private uh,
Mhm.
because for us and for them, I'm again, for me, it's not about the money. It really isn't.
Mhm.
It's about the relationship and the work and getting the client to where they need to be. And so if there have been times where I'm like, I know they want to work with us, but it's just for whatever reason, we're not getting it or we're not able to deliver what they need. Like we've tried and tried and tried. We got to call it, you know?
Mhm.
And so we've done that.
Mhm.
We've also turned down, oh my gosh, we had a opportunity. They contacted us for a huge contract. Um, it was probably triple what our annual revenue is.
Wow.
And after a lot of looking into it, we turned that down too
Hmm.
because because of what it would have done to the company. You know,
Hmm.
you put all these eggs in this basket, something else struggles, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I was asked to do some training for a huge national company, their whole North American branch. It would have been a cool gig, but it would have been our only gig. And again,
Mhm.
you know, at some point, those go sour, and then the rest of the company, I don't think would have survived. So
Yep.
I've turned down in the last 5 years probably a handful of, on the surface, very lucrative opportunities that
Hmm.
just didn't fit with what we're doing. And I think part of me, like, even though everybody's freelance for the most part, I still take it very serious that we are a source of income for our crew. And
Hmm.
so the business decisions I make need to create a company that is solid, that
Hmm.
they can rely on. And it's that's probably more on me than it is them because this is a part-time gig that they do. Maybe, you know, they're not relying on our income.
Hmm.
But I made a commitment when I added people to the creative crew that I would create a company that they could make money on, you know, that
Hmm.
that was a source of their income. So I need to make good business decisions to make sure that we're here to do that.
Hmm.
Um, it's how I would feel if we had a whole fleet of full-timers. I take it as serious with our freelancers because um, it's a relationship, you know, and
Hmm.
I gave my word. So
In the next 5 years, what's one thing you hope will change about Right Connections and one thing you hope will stay the same?
I would love for, there are so many marketing firms. I mean, there's just a slew of them. You know,
Hmm.
I would love for us to be one of the most recognized in our area. I mean, we're in 9 states and we've had significant amount of work in North Carolina just because our one client adds us to their gigs all the time because they really like working with us. But in the state of Indiana, northern Indiana, Michiana area, I would love for us to be seen as one of the top firms to work with.
Hmm.
Not money wise. Like I'm not about like let's gobble up all the big accounts. Like we're always going to be a selective boutique kind of firm because we want
Hmm.
to pick who we work with. But I would
Hmm.
love like when people are thinking, oh, we need a marketing firm, that we're in the mix of the ones they're thinking about. I would love
Hmm.
that. What I don't want to change, like I said, we're never going to be a huge firm. Like I
Hmm.
don't want to be a huge firm because you lose that relationship part. And that's
Hmm.
what we're about. We're all about relationships. I mean, right connections, the entire name and what we're built on is being connected to other people. Having the right
Right.
connections is how you do anything, get anything done. And
Hmm.
so I don't ever want to change that. Like, you know, people have said, oh, you need to grow and you need to have project managers and all that sort of thing. That's not what we're about.
Hmm.
And the great part about owning my own firm, I don't have to do what convention says. I can
Right.
say, no, you know what? We're doing okay.
Hmm.
And so that's what I would say. In the next 5 years, I would just like for our reputation to continue to grow and for us to just be recognized.
Well, congrats on 5 years.
Thank
Here's to
you.
5 more. Thank you for your time. Do you have
You're
any
welcome.
final thoughts?
Um, no, I just again want to say, um, thank you to all the people that have helped us get here. I mean,
Hmm.
this has been one of the most humbling experiences from day one. You know,
Hmm.
from day one when I had people say, start your own business. I was like, doing what? For
Hmm.
heaven's sakes, like what do I do that you know I can start a business with?
Hmm.
So from those individuals to people who sit on our creative crew, to our clients, to our friends who recommend us all the time, like this could not happen. This is not me. This is not anything that I've done. This is like being at the right place, the right time, and being really lucky to have the support that we've had. I mean, I think we do good work, but I'm also very aware there are a lot of people that do good work. We've been extremely blessed with people who have stood by us, who have pushed us and supported us since day one. I mean, since day one. And that to me, I hope I never take for granted. Like when I talk to other people who are thinking about starting a business, I always talk about I would not be doing what I'm doing if I had not had people that said you should do this. Like I would have never thought to do this. And I would never been able to do it, you know? So I would also say I'm so grateful for my friendships and mentorships and partnerships with so many people in our area who we get together, every 6 months, every quarter, just to talk about, they give me the opportunity to talk about what we're doing and what we want to do, and vice versa. So I think it's just right connections is absolutely the vibe throughout our organization, our company is relationship building, creating connections with people, and doing good work. That's what we're about.